G'day guys, Justin Brown here. In this video, I'm going to try to answer the question, how do happily single people enter into relationships when they're so happy being single in the first place? That's the situation that I find myself in. I feel like it's a paradox of existence right now that I feel so happy being single. I've built an incredible life around being all on my own, being completely independent, not having to worry about anyone else. And to be completely honest with you, it's a pretty good way to live life. I'm completely happy like this. It's wonderful. But right now I'm on a remote island in Thailand. I came here for 3 days just to catch up on some writing, to create a few videos, and really just to be alone because I love being alone. I'm on Koh Yao Noi, which is a very small island in Thailand. It's a very beautiful island, and when you drive around, it's unique because there's not much of a party scene. There's a few yoga retreats and things like that, but it's just the nature's so beautiful. And when I looked around at the fellow travelers that are here, I noticed that everyone's in a couple. It's all of these couples that are here traveling around, enjoying their time together. And I feel like I'm the only one that's just all alone coming and doing this on my own. And then I started to think that, well, actually, wouldn't this be nice to be enjoying this with someone else, to be enjoying this with someone who's sharing my life journey as well, and I'm sharing hers, where we're united in values. And then I felt that paradox deep down inside because I love being single. I love this independent lifestyle, and yet at the same time, I just wonder what would life be like to really be with someone where you deeply care about each other. And I'll show you where I am. Let's see if you can see this. But anyway, this is beautiful. It's my trusty bike. I managed to get here just after the sunrise, see the journey that I made to get to this quite remote part of the island. It's really beautiful here, and I just love being in these beautiful places. What I'm going to try to do is resolve that paradox of being incredibly happy being single, but also feeling lonely at the same time. But before I do that, I just want to comment first on why it's important to be happy being single in the first place. I think that in our modern day society, we're conditioned to believe that the perfect partner exists. We're conditioned to believe that there is the one out there, that there's a twin flame or a soulmate. I've got nothing against believing in the idea of a perfect partner or a soulmate or a twin flame or anything like that. I think it can be a beautiful dream that we've all got deep down inside. But I think there is something wrong when believing in these ideas results in the feeling deep down inside that we're split in half. It's as though we're just one half of a soul wandering around on this planet, desperately trying to reunite with the other half of our soul, that only then can we become happy. If we've got that belief deep down inside, it has very powerful consequences for how we enter into relationships, how we interact with people on an everyday basis. Because when we believe deep down that we're not whole and complete, then we can very easily end up in codependent relationships. This is where we create the story along with the other person that I was not whole and complete before I met you. I've finally now met you. I finally now feel good about myself. And then the other person may develop the same story. It becomes a shared story. And again, I think there is something really beautiful about two people creating a shared story of how special it is that they've met each other, that they've finally found each other. But over a period of time, codependency sets in, and that's where the two people can't live their lives separately from each other. They can't live independent lives. They're completely dependent on each other for their confidence, for their needs, for their emotional satisfaction, fulfillment, a whole range of different things. So I do think that's a really big danger, and I can tell you in my own life that I've been happy being single for a very long time, and you may have even seen some of those other videos I've shared on this channel about my commitment to staying single. And I think that that's been in reaction to these sets of ideas in society that I feel like we're programmed with from a very young age. It's almost like the default state in our society is to partner up with someone else to eventually procreate and have kids. And then there's all of these expectations that are built around that. So that really is the key, I think, is to give up on the belief deep down inside that there's someone else that can complete us. We need to embrace the reality that we are fully whole and complete on our own, that living a happy single life is a wonderful way to live, that entering into a relationship isn't the default state. It's not like we need to find a way to finally find that companionship. We can completely stay on our own. So that's been the most important thing for me. So if you're watching this and you're newly single and it's difficult, I think it's a really important journey to be on. But I do think this is only one side to the coin, because I know in my own case, I don't want to live with a predetermined sense of how I want my life to be. So I don't want to have this knee-jerk reaction to the importance of giving up on the belief that I need to be in a relationship. I don't want that to result in a fully fledged commitment to being single where I end up missing all of these possibilities in my life. I think it's very important to live life with a lot of flow, embracing serendipity, having a lot of joy surging through the system so that we can just see what happens and enter into new states of being and be really open-minded about it. And I was thinking about this after watching the shaman Huda Iyande's video on healthy relationships. It's an incredible video where he shares the 3 key factors to have successful and healthy and nurturing relationships. And I really admire Huda's work. I've taken his love and intimacy masterclass where there's a very powerful exercise to break through codependent patterns to become fully self-empowered, and he does that in the masterclass in about an hour and a half, and it results in this huge shift. And that's been hugely important in my own journey to embrace being single. But in Huda's teachings, he doesn't just stop there. It's not like everyone needs to give up on relationships and be alone and that's the answer to codependency, but rather we can be whole and complete and embrace self-empowerment so that our relationships can be much better, so that we can be whole and complete while entering into a partnership that's beautiful, where we can grow and evolve together. And I realized after watching this video and taking his masterclass that I've done half of the work. I've managed to experience being happy, being single alone, but I've closed myself off from entering into these beautiful potential companionships in my life. And that's what I've been thinking about on this trip all on my own. So then the next question that I want to now get into is, what do you do about it? If you're entrenched in the single life and you love being single, but you do feel this deeper sense of longing, that there's a possibility of more, how do you shift your own patterns of behavior to be open to it? Because I think that the conventional advice is to visualize the perfect partner. But I've just said before that I wanted to give up on the idea of the perfect partner in the first place. It's actually one of the videos I created while I'm here is about the myth of the perfect partner. So subscribe to the channel and you'll see that video pop up in your feed pretty soon. It goes really well with this video that I'm sharing right now. So I don't want to visualize my life being any different to what it is. I want to embrace the life that I'm already living right now, but I do want to open up to the potential of new people coming into my life. All right, so here's how I'm resolving this paradox deep down inside. And if you're in the same situation as me, you can do this with me as well. So here's an exercise that we can do together. The question that I'm asking myself and that I ask you is, in those moments where you feel the sense of longing, so this is after you've learned to be happy being single on your own, you're feeling fully self-empowered, you're living the best life that you possibly can, and you're embracing it to the core of your being. And yet, even in those moments when those feelings of longing, the feelings of loneliness, the desire to have a companion, when those feelings crop up, the question is, what is it that you're really looking for from your partner? What is it that your potential partner can bring into your life? And that's what I've been reflecting on this beautiful trip I've made to Koh Yao Noi. And I've got 3 answers for myself. Now, your answers are going to be different. They may be the same, but the 3 things that I'm looking for from a partner to bring into my life that I think I want to do this alongside someone else. It's spirituality, adventure, and community. My life is very structured. Even though I move around a lot and I've got a lot of freedom, I love the work I do. We've got a bigger team now, and I love creating these processes and working with people, and everything's really structured. It's very action focused. But I've also got this desire to embrace spirituality, but I love doing that on my own terms, in my own way, without referencing a body of thought or an ideology or anything like that. So it's just this sense that there's so much more to me than this body, that there's more to my connection with everything around me than meets the eye, and I enjoy exploring it. But I don't really do it so much in my life, and I think that exploring that alongside someone and the relationship also contributing to my understanding of the interconnection between all of us, I feel like there's a huge opportunity there to do that, partnering up with someone. So that's the first thing. In my case, is spirituality. The next thing is adventure. So I just love doing new things, like coming to this island, checking out something new, exploring the world, trying new adventures. Like, I haven't done whitewater rafting, for example, and I was thinking to myself, I need to find a place around here to go and do that. I want to do bungee jumping again. There's just a whole range of different things. I just love the feeling of adventure. So that's also something that I've been thinking, I'd love to find someone who shares a similar sense of adventure and we can do these things together. So much opportunity there if I could find someone who was really aligned. And the third thing I'm looking for is community. Lately, I've been thinking of where should I base myself in Thailand. So I do live a slightly unconventional life in that I travel a lot. So about half the time I'm out of Thailand, half the time I'm based here. My brother is based in Phuket, and that's where I'm starting to spend more of my time. I was living in Chiang Mai for a year, and it just wasn't quite right for me. It was a bit of a slow pace to Chiang Mai that it just sort of gets to me after I'm there for 2 weeks. I'm not sure that Phuket is the answer. So I've been visiting Bangkok regularly to get that energy going. But yeah, I'm looking for, just to find a bit of community somewhere to settle down roots a little bit more than I've been doing. And I've felt, rather than needing to make that decision, if I could find a partner, she could help provide that sense of community, that sense of interconnection. So those are the 3 key things that I'm looking for from that partnership. So then the next thing to do is to ask yourself, how can you bring those things into your life already, even without the partner arriving? Now, the reason that we do this is because we want to start to live our lives according to the feelings that we're really desiring the most. I think that creates a different kind of energy, a different aura deep down inside. And I did learn this from Huda Iyande's Love and Intimacy Masterclass. So if you're interested in checking it out, it's a very powerful exercise. It's resulted in a huge set of realizations for me. There's a link in the description below to watch his Healthy Relationships video. It's incredible. And then from there, you can go in and join his Love and Intimacy Masterclass. It's a low-priced online course that you can take on the vessel. Totally worth it. Highly recommend it. But I'm adapting that exercise to come up with this one here, which is that trying to find the things that you desire the most in your partner, but bringing them into your life right now. So in my own case, what it means is that I need to start embracing spirituality even more now, even before the partner arrives. I need to really embrace going on adventures, on doing trips like this, which is what I've been doing, and just really start to live life in that way, really embrace community, so make a commitment to Phuket if that's what it's going to be, connect more with my brothers, and just live that life as best as I possibly can. And the big thing for me is that I've been thinking about learning to sail. So I can see the perfect life would be partly living on a boat and traveling around Southeast Asia, and once I learnt more, potentially doing longer journeys. And I've been thinking a lot about it. I've been researching it. I need to go small, step by step, to really see how it goes. So it's a dream. And I was thinking, but I'd be so lonely on the boat. I need to, wait until I get into a relationship first before I can do something like that. And I just realized how ridiculous that is. I can get started now and just embrace that life as best as I possibly can. So I think when we start to do those things, when we start to really figure out what we want from that deeper feeling, that desire we've got inside, the longing, which provides, in my case, a contradiction. There's a deeper contradiction between embracing being single, fully fledged single, and I love this life, but I also want to embrace that feeling of longing deep down inside and just see where it can take me. But I don't want that feeling to turn into a problem. I don't want it to hold me back. I want to embrace it for what it is. So in my case, I want to start bringing more spirituality, adventure, and community into my life. And in your case, it's going to be different things. So the question is, how can you start bringing more of those things into your life so that you can shift your own aura? And I think that can result in new possibilities emerging, in being open-minded, in just seeing what can be. So that's how I'm seeking to resolve that contradiction deep down inside. I'd love to know from you how you plan on resolving it. Is it even a thing for you or not? Let me know in the comments below, and go and check out those other videos on being single. They should be popping up right about now, and see you next time.